Welcome to this video. Amerind haplogroup, QM242. Apart from this Amerind haplogroup, QM242, there is no other group that reached this range, and had an equal impact on the formation of the most ancient cultures, and the world as it is today. According to recent ancient DNA research of David Reich, the DNA of Western Europeans, today is most similar to the DNA of the Amazon Amerinds. Here are two possibilities. 01. According to me, JM, the Amazon Amerinds did expand to and through the Ob and Yenisei River entry in Arctic Siberia to Eurasia, and the rest of the world, including to Western Europe, and I provide preliminary evidence of this by showing frequency maps in this video. I already showed clear evidence in other videos. 02. According to consensus, Africans, H. sapiens, if they were a kind of the new Western Eurasians, ended up in the region of the lower, delta, or north, part of the Siberian, Ob and Yenisei rivers. Consensus probably claims this, to try to explain the purple dot of high frequency of QM242 in the map, high up in Arctic Siberia. Further, according to consensus, the migrants in one next step, pull all the way directly into the Amazon forest. They only could have done so after crossing over masses of mountainous areas that present all year long of the deepest permafrost of this planet, after crossing Beringia JM, that had no ice bridge anymore, after crossing the whole of North America, Alaska, Canada, USA, and Central America, Mexico, and a whole range of mountainous and volcanic countries, and last, but not least, the Panamanian Isthmus bottleneck, parts of the Andes, etc. I, JM, think this is highly illogical and improbable, that a group out of Africans locks themselves up, kind of forever, in such a harsh region. Evidence of this shows up in the QM242 map, because the only place that the Amerinds do not cover from their entry exactly is the enormous permafrost area between the purple QM242 hotspot and Beringia. The next move right after, if any, would be a hurried non-stop to the Amazon forest in South America, which for several reasons also would be amongst the harshest regions of the world, and that according to all records, only the Amerinds with their very special genes and red blood cells, RBC, could effectively survive and thrive in. As far as I am aware, the only group other than Amerinds that presents this very special genes, or similars, and red blood cells, RBC, are of the pure blood group O group. This non-stop pull from the Siberian Arctic, or Asia, to the Amazon forest is demanded by researchers, because recent research proves that the first Amerinds did not appear in North America etc. as expected, but instead appeared in the South America Amazon forest and region, and expanded outward in a star-like form from inside or the center of the Amazon forest outwards. JM, for the author JM, it is a proven fact, they have their origin in the Amazon forest expand outward in a star-like fashion, and end up in Western Eurasia etc. The Amerinds of the rest of the Americas, excluding the Amazon Amerinds, are demanded to have descended from another wave, and consensus claims that the rest of the Amerinds once again, has to come from Asia, after Africa, and the Middle East again through Beringia, that are said presents too much permafrost and lack of suitable rivers needed to pass, and this in both continents. Apart from the fact that the ice bridge is not present anymore and consensus does not verify the use of ocean worthy boats, etc. In other videos, I will show quite a lot of evidence that what consensus claims is highly improbable, or even impossible. Amazon Amerinds cannot descend from Africans, or Europeans 01. Blood group. In principle, when I speak of a certain pure, I mean that the whole of the group or population presents one particular blood group. In practice there is only one such group, and that is the Amerinds. For consensus this is a serious paradigm, but they seem not to question. For me, JM, this supposed curiosity is only one minor, but very symbolic indication that the Amerinds are the ancestors of all humans. All Amazon Amerinds have pure blood group O, and Western Europeans do not have pure blood group O. Blood group O is a recessive blood group. This is so according to fundamental biology, and means that pure blood group O cannot descend from not pure blood group O. However, all other blood groups can descend from blood group O if they hybridize with blood groups A, B, or AB. In other words, according to fundamental biology, Amazon Amerinds cannot descend from Western Europeans nor from any other group or continent, and consequently they are the ancestors of all humans. When one defines a certain blood group as a pure blood group, only when it is not mixed with other blood groups, then indeed the Amerinds, once again, or for the second time, are the only group or population that presents a pure blood group. When one defines a certain blood group as a pure blood group, only when it is not mixed with other blood groups, then indeed the Amerinds, once again, or for the third time, are the only group or population that presents a pure blood group. When one defines a certain blood group as a pure blood group, only when its red blood cells, or RBC, have no antigens attached to it, then indeed the Amerinds, once again, or for the fourth time, are the only group or population that presents a pure blood group. It is known that the attachment of antigens A and B to red blood cells, or RBC, is something not older than the last 20,000 years, roughly the end of the last Ice Age, and the beginning of the Hybrid Era. When one does research for the exact date, one will not easily find evidence, or a date. Once this would be confirmed and verified, this would be the next evidence, or proof of the Amerinds being the ancestors of all modern humans. In another video I will provide evidence that an additional antigen, like A and B, cannot be explained by a simple, or normal mutation, further that the sequence of adding an antigen turns out to be first antigen B Bravo, similar to gorilla, and then antigen alpha, dominant in chimpanzees. See video about speciation. The fact that a similar addition of the same antigens by another identical antigen, as the one to mitochondrial Eve, this time in the Neanderthals, adds to the evidence there was nothing random about this addition, or in other words in both cases the H. sapiens and the Neanderthal case, the same hybridization with the same mtDNA was needed for both occurrences. This is the end of this video, thanks for watching. Please give a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Giving a thumbs up is also a way to know if you already assisted a certain video. We hope to see you in our next video.